Hello and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind with me, Louise Kaunisella. I'm your host, and I have, we have the government's Care Fiji contact tracing app that has been developed in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. My guest today to enlighten us on the use of the app are the Director General of Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, Tupo Baravilala, and the Director of Digital Government Transformation Office, Shivendra Deo. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, and welcome to Speak Your Mind.
Thank you, Louise.
Bula Vinaka. So we'll just get straight into it. I mean, what is the Contact Tracing Care Fiji app?
Okay. Thank you so much, Louise, and once again, Bula Vinaka to your audience as well, and thank you so much for having us. Before I answer that question, if I could just provide a bit of background, maybe just to lay a bit of the background in terms of what the Care Fiji app, how that came about.
Okay,
so,
sure.
As we're all aware, when COVID-19 hit, we had to very quickly mobilize and make sure that our health protection measures were in place. Some of these health protection measures that were part of the toolkit that Fiji had used, in particular the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, was, case isolation, quarantine, decontamination, hygiene, and of course contact tracing.
Mm-hmm.
So with contact tracing, this was mainly done through manual contact tracing, whereby if I get diagnosed with COVID-19, I get tested, I'm positive, I now sit down with the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. I then tell them who I've been in close contact with over the past few days.
Right.
The issue with that and some of the challenges that came with that is it relied on my memory. So how was I able to, one, be accurate, how many people I actually came across over the past few days,
mm-hmm.
and two, how fast could I remember that so that
right.
they could then start the contact tracing efforts.
Mm-hmm.
The other issue that was there was I could not tell them the strangers that I came across. So if I was sitting on the bus, the person that was sitting in front of me, at the back of me, I would know. If I was in the grocery line, I would know.
Very true.
So that was some of the challenges. So a lot of countries went ahead. Singapore was one of the first ones where they then went and did a digital contact tracing app. We then basically got what they were doing. And then we were then able to do our Care Fiji app, which is our form of a digital contact tracing. Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, that's how it came about,
yeah.
because of all these reasons. And it does make sense. So, Shivendra, is there something that you'd like to add in there?
Yeah, thank you. And like Tupo mentioned, the Care Fiji app was basically adapted from Singapore's Trace Together, and then Australia also adapted the same app called COVID Safe.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it is built from the same framework. So there's not much difference in terms of how the Care Fiji app operates in Fiji, how the app Trace Together app operates in Singapore or Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have all done some minor tweaks to suit our needs,
mm-hmm.
but there is no major differences to it. So I mean, it has been. We have had instances where people are questioning, oh, do you track location? I mean, definitely no, because the Care Fiji app just uses Bluetooth technology
mm-hmm.
to do its work. And taking that into consideration and given that it is a national health measure, basically, I mean, with this, we are encouraging people to really download this app and help us. And also identification of people who you have come across with, and we have seen that the success of any country in terms of containing COVID-19 is the speed of which you can contact trace.
Yes.
Manual contact tracing is there. This app does not replace it, but it supplements it by providing it information which is not possible through a person's memory.
Yes.
So this really broadens the real estate or the footprint of how we contact trace.
I mean, especially now that we do only have border quarantine cases. I mean, who knows? Look at New Zealand. I mean, it has seeped into the community.
Yeah.
So I suppose when it's like this, it will be much more efficient in doing the contact tracing, because it will be just have started off with a small number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, then that way we could nip it in the bud, most probably, yeah?
Exactly.
So, I mean, everyone is encouraged to download the Care Fiji app. So how does the Care Fiji app work?
So basically, as Shivan had mentioned earlier as well, it uses Bluetooth technology.
Okay. So your Bluetooth has to be switched on full time?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
I mean,
in order for it to work.
In order for it to work. And everyone has to have the app on their phone for it to be able to work as
Yes.
well. Yes.
Well, one of the things that we had seen is that in order for you to, one, you need to download the app and you need to complete the registration process. So we had seen
Okay.
that a number of people had said that, oh, I did download it. And when we checked their phones, you downloaded it, but you didn't install it. So you didn't complete the registration process.
Right.
That is really important.
Yeah, so
you
they need to click on the install.
Yes,
Yeah.
and actually go through the registration portal. Part of the only personal information that is required by this app is your mobile number. So I know a lot of people were questioning about, privacy of information and my personal information.
Right.
The one thing that we need to, and you had also mentioned this very clearly, Louise, is in terms of in order for us to combat this and in order for us to nip it in the bud, like you had mentioned, we need to be, it's a community-driven effort.
Yes.
So I need to make sure that I have it installed, I have my Bluetooth turned on, you have it installed, you have your Bluetooth turned on. We then do digital handshakes. Our apps then do digital handshakes. There is no, some people were worried in terms of if I download it, can we then access phone contact details or your videos? No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It cannot do that. The technology does not do
allow
that.
it.
Doesn't do that. Nor do we need to do that. The main
Okay.
thing that is needed is we need to ensure that just like how you would have your Bluetooth enabled earphones or headphones, you don't know where it is in the house, but as soon as it's close enough, your music that was playing on your phone will now just come off on your Bluetooth speaker. It's exactly in that instance.
Okay,
So
that's
we
an
do-
example.
Yes, so we do sort of digital handshakes. The only information that goes across is an encrypted version of your mobile number, but so it's not 990 something. It would be an encrypted version. There would be one exchanged on our phones, and it sits there. It would also capture the date, the time, and it would also capture how long we were close to each other. So that's the only information. And this information does not go automatically to the Ministry of Health. It is stored on your phone. So it's stored securely, locally on your phone. And only if we were to use the example that I was using earlier, I get diagnosed with COVID-19. You will not be, Luis, you won't be required to upload your information. Shivan won't be required to upload his information. Only I will. So I will be then asked, it's with my consent.
Okay.
I then tell the Ministry of Health, okay, I now have COVID-19. I would like to upload the information of all of those who are close to me for the last 28 days.
Okay, so we'll have to come back to that shortly, Tupo, on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. We're your only classic hit station in the country. We'll be back soon. We're back on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. Thank you for your good company. And yes, our guest, very long intro that I need to give, the Director General of Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, that's Tupo Baravilala, and also the Director of Digital Government Transformation Office, Shivendra Deo. So we left off with you saying that the only way that you will inform the Ministry of Health is if you actually contract COVID-19. And you said then that's when your information will be used because you will contact the Ministry of Health. So you can continue from there.
Yeah, thank you, Luis. So I mean, there's two types of cases, and I mean the more prevalent ones, which you see the symptoms straight away, and the other ones are ones which are quite asymptomatic, and up till the 14-day or whatever the incubation period is, you then the cases start to come up. So during that 14-day period, for example, if I discover that I have COVID-19 on the 14th day, so really it is almost impossible for me to remember who I met with in the past 14 days. I mean, I could have gone to the supermarket, drank grog with a couple of friends, who had some more people over. I could have done so many things, and those people who then met me would have gone and met other people. So you can see the frequency or the magnitude of the issue that can happen if we do not effectively contact trace. And I mean, as Tupo was mentioning, so if I get COVID-19, I have the symptoms, I show up at a fever clinic or at the hospital, and the doctors say, okay, we need to do some tests on you, and the tests come out positive. And then I am required to upload my data onto the Ministry of Health servers. So what will happen is the Ministry of Contact Tracer will give you a PIN, which you will verify on your Care Fiji app,
Right.
as well as, so for example, if they tell you 1122, and then you'll have to see 1122 is appearing on your phone. Now that is an authentication measure that we have put, an additional measure that we have put to ensure that your data is being, you are speaking to a authentic Ministry of Health personnel and not an imposter, for example.
Okay.
Obviously, the imposter will not have the PIN that is required to give. So that is a level of security which you provide through the app. So the person the Ministry of Health contact tracer will tell you, okay, 1122, you put it in, then you will be able to, upon your own consent, then you will be able to upload the data. There's never an instance whereby the Ministry of Health will be able to take the data from your phone. That does not happen.
Okay.
And the access to, or the uploading process is also free, because we have worked with the internet service providers to zero rate the usage of the Care Fiji app. So when you upload your data, despite it using a minimal amount of data, mobile data to upload the information, it will still be free, because we have zero rated the usage of the app itself.
So it's free.
Yep.
So when you download the app, it'll be free.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's good. I mean, a lot of people would want to know that, and it doesn't use up the data, or just minimum data.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just in terms, just if I could just clarify further.
Sure.
So when you need to download it from Google Play Store, Apple App Store, at that point you would need to use your data to be
Okay.
able to go on. So that's the only point of contact where you would need to use your own mobile data.
Well, that's just the minimum.
Yes, but once you've downloaded it, and it only takes 10 megabytes of data.
Okay,
But
okay.
once you've downloaded it, and this is in partnership with the service providers, you get reimbursed with 100 megabytes. So 10 times
Oh.
more than you actually put in. So that just, what that does is it ensures that, we're making it as easy as possible for everyone to be able to download it, because the main thing is it's a community effort. We understand that. The other point that we'd also like to raise is it's in line with our values. So, as Fijians, if I'm eating, or if you're eating something, I walk past, hardly ever would you not call out? You
Yes.
would call out, please come and have something to eat.
Yes.
So we're just by our very nature, we're very caring. We always think about those that are around us. And that's
Okay.
basically what this app does, is because in order for me to not only just protect myself, my family, protect those around me, the strangers who I don't even know on the street, I would put this on so that I can ensure that should the time come that I may have COVID-19, I can very quickly inform the Ministry of Health, tell them who have been my close contacts with over the past 28 days.
Right.
And then they'll be able to then very quickly do contact tracing. So, yes.
Yes, I mean, it all makes sense, because, I mean, if you go in public transport, for instance, so for the Ministry of Health, you make it easier for them in finding the location of some people who may have, caught it from that person who's reported to the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
So if I could just clarify, the finding the location bit is not by the app. The app would just so that they can contact. So what the app would give
okay.
them would be, these are just by the time it reaches them, so it is encrypted when it's on our phones. I upload it onto the servers.
Okay.
They then they won't have my name. They won't have Luis's name or Shivan's name on this day. They would just have the once it's decrypted, they would now have mobile numbers. So they don't even have names attached to it. So what they would do is they would call you up. Hi, you're this number. You were in close contact with you were in close contact with someone who's now tested positive for COVID-19,
Yes.
and then they would then get that information. But the app does not know that on this particular day, Tupo was with Luis and Shivan
At a certain
at a
location.
station. Yes.
Okay, so it's not really about location,
not the
it's just
location.
about the person that was close to you.
At that time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, and then
Yeah.
you'll find out the location,
Yeah, once
obviously,
they do.
once you interview the Ministry of Health, talks to the
Exactly.
people who were close to the one who was infected.
Exactly.
Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think while on the location issue, one thing that we have seen that's coming out of this is people are saying, oh, the government may be tracking me, or no, you are collecting location data. But
Yeah.
one thing we want to assure you that we do not collect any location-related information. So what you can do is, once you register for your Care Fiji app, you put in your number, you get your one-time PIN, your app is registered, it's operational. You can turn off your location. You can just keep your Bluetooth on. That is what is
okay, there
minimally
you go.
needed.
Yeah.
And if you look at the trend globally, there are some countries who have gone ahead and used location. Of course, Fiji hasn't gone and used location. We are just using Bluetooth because for obvious reasons. And also, our approach is basically what Singapore and Australia has done is we collect the minimal amount of data that is required to successfully do contact tracing.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that people need to keep at the back of their mind when they're registering for this app or when they're reading information regarding the KFUG app. So that is a minimum amount of information that's required for our contact tracers to successfully, do contact tracing. And like Tupo mentioned, it's a community-driven thing. It's a family spirit type, So let's help each other. Let's help, to get the economic activity back. Get the borders open, get the planes flying again. So it's all about that, and I think the KFUG app plays a very integral part in doing so.
Yes, and in the future of the country. But we'll be back soon on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. This is a live radio talkback show. We have the delayed coverage shown on FBC TV every Tuesday nights at 11 and also Wednesday at 11. So if you happen to be listening in and you have a question that you might like to ask, you're most welcome to call 3220-906 or 77-32906. So we're talking about the Care Fiji app. And my guest is the Director General of the Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, Tupo Mbaravilala, and also the Director of Digital Government Transformation Office, Shivendra Deo. So we were speaking about this Fiji app, this Care Fiji app, and how important it is. You've spoken about it's more of a community thing where everyone just works together so we can advance the country and so on. But anyway, how and where do you download the Care Fiji app?
Thank you, Luis. So the Care Fiji app is available on both Google Play Store and Android App Store. So you can just go to either of the stores and just type Care Fiji and you'll see the first search result to be Care Fiji. You can then click on download or install, and the app will come on, will get installed onto your phone. And the important step, and I think which Tupo also mentioned, was registering for the app. So when it's downloaded, some of the phones pop up the app automatically, meaning that it's open up automatically, or others you will just need to go and click on the Care Fiji app icon, and then it will open up. So there's a series of messages that we display from the starting in terms of what the Care Fiji app is, how it will work, and if it's an iPhone, then there's certain things that you need to do a bit differently to ensure that your phone is contact tracing. For Android users, it's much more straightforward. So and then you'll have to put in your mobile number. So the reason why your mobile number is because you will the contact tracers from the Ministry of Health will then contact you on your mobile number should you test positive for COVID-19, or if your number appears in any other person's contact list who you may have come into close contact with, and the person has tested positive. So once that's done, you'll receive a OTP, a one-time password, which you'll then need to put on the app, and your app will then be registered and will become operational. Now, it is you need to keep your Bluetooth turned on at all times to ensure your app is working ideally and is contact tracing as it is supposed to be. So that those are basic simple steps to get the app from the Play Store and the App Store and get it onto your phone.
Okay, that's clear enough. So how many people in the country have downloaded the Care Fiji app so far?
Thank you, Luis. So we have, the last time we had checked was over 60,000. So it has,
that's not too bad.
It has gone up. This is encouraging, but
Very much,
as we had noted, we really need everybody who does have a smartphone to please download it and keep their Bluetooth turned on for the reasons that we had mentioned.
Okay.
So we would encourage those who have yet to download it to please download the Care Fiji app.
I know we have some sporting events which require you to have downloaded the Care Fiji app. So it's 60,000. How much are you looking at? Hoping to, get.
So just in terms of the amount of devices that there are, in terms of smartphone devices, and we've gotten this, is, there's over 600,000 when you're looking at around about that ballpark figure. So we're looking at as many people who would have it to have the app. The higher the adoption rate, the better the protection levels for all of us and those in our communities.
Yes, obviously. Yeah. So I mean, we need to do this together, and I'd think, I mean, if you look at the rest of the world, how they're suffering, I mean, look at USA, we definitely wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is very logical. I mean, as a part of the community spirit to just download the app, and because who knows, we never know when it could seep into the community, and then we could just stop it as soon as it, I mean, I don't want it to come into the community.
No, exactly.
But you just never know. We have also the isolation places where we have local people serving the food. I mean, anything could happen. But so far, so good.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we also need to understand is that, our understanding of this COVID-19 is something that's still ongoing, the World
Yes.
Health Organization. So there's a lot of things that we don't know yet about this. And I think one of the things is it's encouraging to see that there's a vaccine, and that's currently, they're currently racing to get a vaccine done, but we don't know the timeline for that. What we do know is that there are measures that have been put in place by government. And, contact tracing has been one of the main efforts to ensure, like you had said, to break the chain of transmission.
Right.
If you see our neighbors, New Zealand, with the recent cases that they've had, the community transmission
It's
from
shot
the
up.
4 cases that they have, they've been able to identify, I think it's over 200 cases. They've contacted, I think, over 100, and they've tested them, and they're waiting for that. But that just shows the how quickly, and Shivan had said this earlier, how quickly it can spread, undetected, and which is why contact tracing is very, very important. So the Care Fiji app is there to not take over manual contact tracing. It is just to assist them, get them that information quicker at a faster pace, so that they can quickly contact everyone and tell them, look, I think you've come into contact. Maybe, you need to self-isolate. You need to come and get tested, whatever the medical advice is.
Yeah.
But it's ensuring that as citizens, we're helping those on the front lines. And that's our role to play in ensuring that Fiji continues to be, COVID contained.
Yeah, I mean, look at the 3 top countries now. I mean, US, more than 5 million cases. I mean, imagine that. And then we have Brazil, and then we have India. These 2 are the top 3. I mean, we most definitely don't want to have COVID-19 seeping into the community. So, I mean, as a citizen of the country, it would be really good if you could do your part and obviously download the Care Fiji app. Yep. So, okay, how far again does a person have to be in order for the Care Fiji app to detect how close he or she is to an infected person with COVID-19?
Yeah.
It would be what? Like you said, it's a normal, like a Bluetooth, 2 meters, 1 meter?
Yeah, so it's currently 2 meters. You have to be at the distance of 2 meters and in contact for 15 minutes for the app to exchange, do digital handshakes and capture information. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So, I mean, that is because obviously, and like Tupo mentioned, that the landscape around coronavirus and the COVID-19 in itself is changing rapidly. So, so many countries are now, revising, and we are trying to find common footing in terms of what's the correct distance, and also, so definitely, I mean, our contact tracing app too works around what the other countries are putting, what the World Health Organization is putting out, and our Ministry of Health subsequently how they adopt it. So definitely. I mean, it is that, and I mean, just on the previous discussions, I mean, Walesi app in Fiji is quite a, I mean, say one of the most successful apps in Fiji with over 400,000 downloads.
There you go. So why can't you do it for something even so serious? I mean, for our lives,
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely, Louise. And I mean, that is the point I was coming to, and this is a national health measure, and we all want our lives to get back to normal,
True.
We want our resorts to open. There's so many people who are out of jobs or, work on reduced hours. We want them. And I think this app is one of the major tools, given that tourism is the backbone, is our major GDP earner. We want to get tourists back into our country. Of course, the government is putting out initiatives like the Bula Bubble, the Blue Lane, and all.
Right. So we need to come back to that. I mean, so people can understand on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. We're back on Speak Your Mind. Gold FM, only the classic hits. I thank you for your sweet company. And our guest today to tell us all about the Fiji Care app. Sorry, I keep saying Fiji Care for some stupid reason, but it's the Care Fiji app. And, just to convince you the many reasons why you should download it and how important it is. So I thank you very much. We have, of course, the Director General of Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, Tupo, explaining to us, as well as the Digital Government Transformation Office, Shivendra Deo, who is from there. So you last spoke about how important it is, because you did mention something about the Bula bubble, right? And, obviously, I mean, the Care Fiji app will do far more than making contact tracing more efficient and effective. It can also get people back their jobs. So maybe you can let us know more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Louis. As I mentioned earlier, as part of the government's economic recovery framework, we have put out the government has launched initiatives like the Bula Bubble, the Blue Lane Initiative, the VIP lanes, Vacation in Paradise. So all of these things are being done to ensure that people start getting their livelihoods back.
Yes.
And the Care Fiji app plays a very important role in this, is because now, as I mentioned earlier, tourism is the major GDP contributor, is also employs a lot of people.
And the most affected, economically affected because of the pandemic.
Exactly, yeah. Our airline industry, our tourism industry, if you look at it, and those are the direct impacts. And then there are many people who are indirectly impacted by that. People who provide laundry services,
True.
Who supply letters to the resorts and others. So if you see, it's the effects are just not there. It's far reaching down to the indirect people.
Yes.
So what this app will do is it will instill confidence in our major traveling partners, major trading partners. Is okay. Fiji has all these mechanisms in place ready. So if a Australian or a New Zealander who wants to come to Fiji can then, New Zealand government is confident, okay, yes, we can participate in the Bula bubble now with Fiji, given that, Fijian people, majority of the Fijian people have downloaded the Care Fiji app. They have, so they have the Bluetooth turned on at all times there. So if a New Zealander comes into Fiji, is out in the communities, they can at least trace back and find. And we have the Care Fiji app can be downloaded by any person before even coming to Fiji. So you can download it, you can activate the app even before coming to Fiji. So we have really gone to that extent to ensure that, our people here are safe, as well as we can safely restart the economic activity in Fiji. And now you can see how this app really is a conduit between the two. Of course, we want to go back to normal. We want our jobs, people to get their livelihoods back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think this app plays a very integral role in this.
And that's how seriously people should take it, that you need to download the Care Fiji app. So how long does the data that's collected from the Care Fiji app. I'm frightened I'm going to say Fiji Care again. The Care
How long
Fiji.
is it stored for?
Yeah.
Thanks for that question. So just with regards, how we had mentioned earlier in terms of how it actually plays, I have my Bluetooth, Luis, you have your Bluetooth, it exchanges. The only information that exchanges between our phones is an encrypted version of your mobile number goes into my phone, an encrypted version of my mobile number goes into your phone. Then it logs the date, the time of our close contact and for how long we've been. So that's the only information that's stored securely on both of our phones.
Okay.
So the period in which that is stored for is a period of 28 days, and that's as per policy advice from the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, to ensure that we're able to be able to obviously. A lot of us would not, for me personally, I wouldn't remember half of the things that I did yesterday. So for me, this is something that I would go for. So we've tried to make it as wide as possible, also taking into account the things that we don't know about this disease and the asymptomatic cases. So that's why it's been 28 days. So it's 28 days on a rolling basis.
Okay.
What I mean by this is, if I downloaded it on the 1st, on the 1st of the month, on the 28th of the month, it stored all of that. On the 29th day of the month, that becomes my new day 28. my last day is sort of
I
gone out. So it's
see.
for every 28
For every
days.
28
it rolls.
days, yes.
So if I downloaded it a month ago, or well, 2 months ago, it wouldn't have all the 2 months data or the information.
Yeah.
It would only have the last 20 days from when I'm asked to upload my information.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense because of this COVID-19, there's a certain period where it starts to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're asymptomatic, that's another story. It's such a tricky virus,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's clear enough. But I like it how you said that it's not only for contact tracing, but to build the economy of the country. We would be, like you said, the Bula bubble. People will want to come in holiday because we have the efficient amount of people who have downloaded the Care Fiji app. So, yeah, that's, I mean, how much are people looking at overseas for Fiji, for example? How many would they like to see have downloaded the app before they can, allow travel into Fiji?
I think for us is particularly what it shows is it instills a sense of confidence, and that we do take it seriously in terms of Fiji as a destination. That
Right.
that we be branded. We're one of the few places in the world that's actually safe.
Yeah.
To travel to. We don't
Sure.
have community transmission. So I mean that's all part of the branding in terms of not only are we ensuring that we keep our people safe, but we're able to prepare ourselves for when the borders do open. We continue to have these measures already in place. Everybody's ready. We all know what we have to do, from your tourism operators, people at the airport, your taxi drivers, those who supply art crafts and all of that to them as well. So I think it's the thing is the more the better. You look at Australia, and Australia's had 40% adoption rate in terms of their COVID safe app.
Okay.
We're looking at roughly we've gone over 10% now, which is which is a good start. But we really need to we would encourage that we increase the uptake, because that will make it easier when we do go out and say when borders are safe to open again.
Yeah.
That look, Fiji's ready.
Yeah.
And our people, we all have our Care Fiji apps on. We all wash our hands. It's the exact same thing,
Yeah, right.
It's all of these measures. So you
Yeah.
wash, just as easy as it is to wash your hands. It's as easy to have your Care Fiji app, turned. You have your Care Fiji app on, and you have your Bluetooth turned on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, goodness me, we want everyone to be able to earn a living, and this is the good way to do it, so we can allow tourists to come. But on Speak Your Mind, this is Gold FM, only the classic hits, your only classic hit station in the country. We'll be back in a moment. Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits, our live radio show, and we have the delayed coverage on FBC TV every Tuesday nights and Wednesday mornings. My guest here to enlighten us on why you should download the Care Fiji app, and I think your reasons are very good if we want our country to move ahead and be prepared in the time of this pandemic. We don't know how long it's going to last anyway. I mean, the last I heard, World Health Organization said it could be even 2 years. So we have to get used to living a new normal, like you said, Tupo. Washing your hands, social distancing. We need to be practicing this because we can never know when COVID-19 could seep into the community, but let's pray it doesn't. But I believe the president, Chochi Konrote, he launched a competition a few days ago in partnership with Care Fiji. You might like to tell us about that.
Yes, so thanks, Luis. His Excellency the President has actually done for our Constitution Day this year. He's actually launched a competition for our students. So he had done a video basically around our constitutional right to health. So we would encourage all of our students to please check out the Fijian government Facebook page. His videos, His Excellency's videos is on there. The question basically is, so it's asking, a short video from year 1 to year 13 students. And the question that is being put is, given the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic, how can all of us work together to uphold every Fijian's right to health as enshrined in our Constitution. So basically, to get our students thinking in terms of innovative ways or to be creative, how to maybe inspire more hand washing. How can we encourage the use of technology? In this case, our digital contact tracing app, which is Care Fiji, to keep our people healthy. How do we ensure that we're practicing physical distancing? So we'd also like to, ask all of our students to please submit their videos, particularly for this question. There's a few prizes, that have been put up for our students, not only for our students, but for the schools that do have that. And we're also working with the Ministry of Education in this space as well. Yes, I think the prizes that are there for the winners this year includes, tablets, laptops, and even a trip up to the State House for a
lovely
Constitution
prizes.
Day reception. So we would encourage, students to please, be part of this. And also we would love to hear your take on how we can, in terms of the Care Fiji app. We're really interested.
I think that's a great idea. It's always good to use children because they'll probably turn around and ask their parents, have you downloaded the Care Fiji app? Yeah, Shivendra?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Children indeed give us a reality check at times. Sometimes we take certain things for granted, but they see it from a different perspective, and we really encourage parents to support their students in their children in participating in this particular competition. But while on the same issue, I would like to make a call to all parents or every citizen of Fiji to ensure that you get your information from the correct sources in terms of in relation to COVID-19 and Care Fiji as well. We have got a website www.carefiji.digitalfiji.gov.fj where you can find a very comprehensive list of FAQs. We also have a fact sheet over there which contains details about different further details about the app and some unpacking of some information and some technicalities as well. So we would encourage people to go and read on that. Don't really believe everything you read on social media and which are not from government sources or official sources. So
Very true.
please validate your information against that. And also on the website we have a contact us form as well as we have an email address. If anything, just drop us an email or you can just call us up. We'll be more than happy to assist you in terms of installing the app. Or if you have certain questions about the app, we'll definitely be able to assist you. So we also spend quite a bit of our time fighting misinformation and disinformation on the Care Fiji app itself.
Yes, fake news, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to go straight direct to Fiji Care on your website,
Fiji.
yeah?
Yeah. So just to add on, Luis, if I may, just with regards to the website, that's also been zero rated. So you don't need mobile data to be able to go on. You can access it for free. There's also some videos there that people can watch, and also for our students that are listening out there, you can also go to this website to get some content, while you're thinking about in terms of the competition. But the one point that we'd like to add is that the Care Fiji, the intention of it when we were thinking about developing and making sure that it was right for us is one, it is hassle-free, it's easy to use. Your privacy is protected. There are security safeguards. And at the end of the day, zero community transmission right now does not mean zero risk.
Yes.
There is still a risk.
Most
And so
definitely.
we must stay vigilant. We must continue to ensure that we protect our home, that we protect each other. And this is just one of the ways that we can ensure that.
Okay, well, that's just great. I'm hoping and I'm sure that you will be convincing thousands and thousands of people to download the Care Fiji app. And you've given all the really good reasons why we should. So maybe you can just go through it, touch on it just before we end the program right now. Just why someone should download the Care Fiji app. Yeah. You can just go quickly over the main reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just in terms of why, the main reason, and if we were to look at New Zealand's community transmission cases right now, the only way that we can test whether or not the app is, in terms of effectiveness, would be for there to be community transmission, and then we would then request for the information. This is something that we need to inculcate into our culture right now to have the app on your phone and also your Bluetooth turned on. The other thing is, and some people have raised this in terms of battery life on their phones.
Yeah.
We've also looked at this as well, and
Okay.
because of the technology that it uses, which is Bluetooth low energy technology, so it's sort of a second and advanced version of Bluetooth. It uses lesser bandwidth, so it's minimal battery usage as well. So we've looked into all the areas of making it as easy as possible for people. The reason why is obviously, to ensure that we further help our frontliners, our contact tracers, to help them get to people faster and advise them to stay at home or to go get tested, whatever the case may be. And thirdly, the other reason why we need to do this is because, like you had mentioned, Louise, we don't know when this is going to end. So we really need to get into this whole culture of washing your hands, practicing physical distancing, and having the app on and your Bluetooth turned on.
Yeah, I mean, it protects our country, right?
Yeah.
Shivendra?
And of course, I mean, getting our people's livelihoods back. And
Yeah, I know. It's
and
really
learning to
sad.
live in this new normal.
Yeah.
We definitely need to download the app. And I mean, we very easily download Facebook, Viber, Messenger, WhatsApp, all the other apps, TikTok and all. So I
Exactly.
mean, let's make an effort, all of us, and download this app and keep our Bluetooth turned on for the betterment of our country and moving forward.
Excellent. Well, we have to end it here now, and I thank you again for your time coming in to appear on Speak Your Mind. So that was the Director General, of course, Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, Tupo Maravilala Vinakavakalevu, and the Director of Digital Government Transformation Office, Shivendra Deo. Thank you indeed.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Louise.
Naka on
Naka.
Speak Your Mind. Again, be sure to download the Care Fiji app if you care for our country and you care for our future. On Gold FM, until next week, Nisamo Demanda.